How you doing? My name is Christopher Brown, and you now listen to my podcast, Sports Talk with Chris, and this is episode 31. Most of my predictions have been right. It's no luck, man. I just know basketball. Here's how the games went so far this week. On Monday, the Raptors beat the Heat 107-103, led by Fran VanVleet, who had a career-high 36 points. Then you had the Denver Nuggets beat the OKC Thunder 121-113, led by Michael Porter Jr., 37 points, 12 rebounds, and Jokic with 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists. People, y'all need to wake up. Michael Porter Jr. has been like this. He was a beast in high school, got to college. He was probably going to be the first pick if he didn't have injury in college. Honestly, y'all want to compare Brandon Ingram to KD? You need to do the same with Michael Porter Jr. 6'10", 6'11", can handle, can shoot, can score anywhere on the court, goes at it and tries to be aggressive on the defensive end. He's just getting a leash taken off of him because once he was healthy, he had spurts where he was dropping 18 points in 20 minutes throughout the season. He showed it during the scrimmages, and now they let him loose. Then you had the Pacers versus the Wizards. Pacers won 111-100. T.J. Warren led them with 34 points, 11 rebounds, 3 steals. T.J. Warren has been nice, but he's going off like something he never did his entire career. He could get you 20, but he's acting like their best player right now. Then you got the Pelicans beating the Grizzlies 109-99, led by Zion Williamson. 23 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. They finally let him play. And see what happens when you let him play? Y'all win games. Then my Sixers beat the Spurs 132-130, led by Embiid with 27 points, and Shake Milton hit a clutch three. To give us the lead with 7.2 seconds left. We needed that. We needed this win. We can't afford to lose the team that's not in the playoffs. We just can't. Then to end the night on Monday, the Lakers beat the Jazz to secure the first seed in the West, 116-108, led by Anthony Davis with 42 points and 12 rebounds with 3 steals. The man is a problem, okay? He's a problem. On Tuesday, the Brooklyn Nets beat the Milwaukee Bucks 119-116, led by Charbot. He led all scorers with 26 points. It feels like the Bucks are losing their defensive identity. They let the Rockets go on a 16-4 run with 3 minutes left to beat them. Then you double back and then you lose to the Nets that all their best players aren't playing. Their leading scorer is somebody that would never be a leading scorer if their best players were playing. And their best player, LeVert, isn't even the one that led them in scoring. The Bucks got to get it together because going into the playoffs, man, they need to be on their P's and Q's. Right now, it's not looking like it. Then you had the Dallas Mavericks beating the Sacramento Kings 114-110. Luka Doncic had a crazy game. 34 points, 20 rebounds, 12 assists. The man is a problem. You had the Phoenix Suns beating the Clippers 117-115. Devin Booker hit a crazy buzzer beater. He did a move to get Kawhi off of him, then hit a tough shot, which honestly could have been called the foul on Paul George for the win. He had 35 points. Then the Pacers beat the Magic 120-109. T.J. Warren had 32 points, 13 for 17 from the field, 4 for 5 from the three-point line. He's going off. Then you had the Heat beat the Celtics 112-106, led by Bam Adebayo, who had 21 points and 12 rebounds. The Heat beat them without Jimmy Butler. So what does that tell you? They play together as a unit. Their defense is out of this world. They lead the league in three-point percentage. So they hit shots when it's time to hit shots. Duncan Robinson had 21 points, 5 for 11 for the three-point line. Off the bench, you had Goran Dragic, 20 points. Off the bench, you got Tyler Hero, 11 points. They put Kelly Olynyk in the starting lineup. He gave you 15 points. The Heat have a roster now. Then ended off Tuesday night, you had the Blazers beat the Rockets 110-102. I knew that was going to happen. I won my bet. I said, in my previous episode that I understand how the Rockets are playing, but I'm never going to pick them against a team that has a dominant big man. And the Portland Trail Blazers have dominant bigs. Yusuf Nurkic, 18 points, 19 rebounds. Carmelo Anthony, 15 points, 11 rebounds. Off the bench, Hassan Whiteside, 9 points, 7 rebounds. Dame Lillard, 21 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. CJ McCollum, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Zach Collins, 8 points, 7 rebounds. They won a rebound battle 64-39. That's how you beat them. Then they beat them in free throws. The Rockets shot terrible from the free throw line, 15 for 24. Russell Westbrook shot 5 for 12. To beat the Rockets, you gotta make sure you're going to beat them regardless on rebounds if you do what you gotta do. If you got good bigs, you beat them in rebounds. You get to the line, how they get to the line. You hit your shots and you play defense, and you got a chance to beat them. Then yesterday, the Jazz beat the Grizzlies 124-115, led by Rudy Gobert, who had 21 points and 16 rebounds. Then you got the Sixers finally winning games 107-98 against the Washington Wizards, led by Embiid, 30 points, 11 rebounds. Then you had the Denver Nuggets winning games, even though they got some key players that aren't, playing right now. They're still winning games. 132-126, the Denver Nuggets won against the San Antonio Spurs. Jokic, 25 points, 11 assists. Michael Porter Jr., 30 points, 15 rebounds. Come on now. They took the leash off of him, and now the league is going to see, okay, he's like that. I can't wait to see him in a full season. I can't wait to see this Nuggets team fully healthy, all playing together. They're going to be scary. Teams need to watch out. Then you had the Thunder beating the Lakers 105-86. They held the Lakers to 35% shooting from the field. Chris Paul gave you 21, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Danilo Gallinari gave you 19 points, 7 rebounds. Adams gave you 18 points, 7 rebounds. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, gave you 13 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. All the starters was in double figures. You look at the Lakers, man. LeBron had 19 and 11. AD only had 9 points. Kuzma had 10. Deion Waiters had 14. That's good to see by him, but they only had 3 people in double figures. Come on, Lakers. I understand y'all's the first seed, but the playoffs is coming. Y'all got to switch into playoff mode. Y'all can't be losing games like that. Got to get y'all confidence up. Got the Raptors beating the Magic 109-99. Fran VanVleet, 21 points, 10 assists. Then ended off Wednesday night. You had the Boston Celtics destroying the Brooklyn Nets 149-115. The Celtics had 7 players, in double figures. Whew. That's just 149-115. Everything had to go right for the Celtics, and it did. It did. If you were wondering how to create a podcast like the one you're listening to now, I'm about to explain to you the best way to do so, and that is using a platform called Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to start a podcast, and I'm going to explain to you why. First and foremost, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that will allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will also distribute your podcast so it can be heard on different platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from the podcast with no minimum learnership. It's everything you need to create a podcast all in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So the NBA put together this play-in tournament for the 8th seeds. And right now, in the Western Conference, the race for 8th is crazy. The 8th seed is up for grabs. This play-in tournament, if the 8th seed and 9th seed are within 4 games with each other, then they're going to play in this tournament where the 8th seed only needs 1 win, and the 9th seed has to win back-to-back games. All these teams right now are fighting for the 8th seed because it'd be easy to win this tournament. Now, I'm not saying, a team can't beat a team 2 times in a row, but no team wants to be in that position. And how it looks right now, there's going to be a play-in tournament between the 8th and the 9th seed because all the teams are within 4 games of each other. You look at the Phoenix Suns. Right now, they are 3-0 in the bubble. They beat the Wizards, the Mavericks, and the Clippers. Yes, they beat 2 playoff teams. Did anybody see this coming? No, I can admit, I did not see this coming. I had them beating the Wizards because the Wizards are, short-handed right now, but I did not have them beating the Mavericks or the Clippers. And they did both. The Suns have a solid 5 good players with them in the bubble right now. Everybody else is honestly unproven, you know. Their 2 best players, Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton, have both played well. In their 3 games, Booker is giving you 30 points, 5 assists, shooting 45% from the 3, attempting over 6 threes per game. It blows my mind and it pisses me off that ESPN really ranked him the 31st best player in the bubble. That makes no sense. The dude is one of the best shooting guards in the league, and he's one of the best scorers in the league. And they really ranked him the 31st best player in the bubble. Like, do they not watch basketball? Honestly, even if they're not in the playoffs. You know, look where they're doing right now. They're 3-0. Moving up and up and up. Yet you want to rank him the 31st best player. Man, there's not 20 better players than him in the bubble right now. It's not even 20 better players in the league. Even the people that's not in the bubble better than him. ESPN got to do better. But the dude is a problem. Like I said, one of the best shooting guards and one of the best scorers in this league. And he's proven it. You know, that game winner against the Clippers, that should just solidify how great he is. DeAndre Ayton is in his 2nd year. Already, in my opinion, a top 10 center in this league. In the 3 victories, he's averaging about 19 and 9. But that one game against Dallas, though, he's in foul trouble, so he played 21 minutes. If he played more, you know, he'd be averaging about 20 and 10. Now, a player who's finally playing up their potential in this bubble, I'm glad to see, and there's a key reason why they're winning games, is their point guard, Ricky Rubio. Now, this season, you know, he didn't have the season I expected, but in the bubble, he's playing like I thought he would. He's averaging 17 points and 7 assists. If those 3 players can be consistent, they can be consistent. If DeAndre Ayton can give you at least 20 or 10, if Booker can keep scoring at least over 26, then you get Ricky Rubio giving you 16. He's averaging 17, but if he can give you over 16 and keep them 7 assists, take over that playmaking role, and then they have good role players now. You got Mikal Bridges, rookie, playing phenomenal. 3-and-D guy. Dario Saric, you know, he has some experience in this league as a backup power forward. Cameron Payne, Cam Johnson, you know. If all those guys can play consistent, then maybe they can shock some people. Now, their last 5 games are against the Indiana Pacers, Miami Heat, the Thunder, Philly, and the Dallas Mavericks. All teams with more than 40 wins. It's going to be tough. But if they play like how they're playing now, if they play with the confidence that they have, like I said, man, they can really shock some people. Next, let's talk about these Portland Trailblazers, man. The team that should have already been in the playoffs, but injuries slowed them down. They're 2-1 in the bubble right now, winning a crucial game, you know, a couple nights ago against the Rockets. They needed that win. Their star players, you know, they're playing like how they usually do. All-stars, all-NBA caliber type players. They're consistent, and they hit clutch shots all the time. And to the people, you know, let me take my glasses off real quick. To the people that really thought Melo couldn't hoop anymore, y'all were fooling yourselves, man. Melo has a skill set that will always be needed in the NBA. He's clutch, he's tough, and he has the ability to get buckets. Man, the man is a Hall of Famer, and people is really counting him out. He can score everywhere on the court. He can shoot. He can hit the mid-range. He can score in the paint, the post-up. I don't understand why teams counted him out. The Blazers were smart by getting him. And he did nothing but provide for them since he's been there. Great teammate. He has experience. He has veteran leadership. They're buying in together, man. Like, I don't understand. I'm glad he's showing people that he still got game, because I knew he still got game. I'm glad the Blazers gave him a chance, because he's showing y'all. The man has hit some clutch threes since being in the bubble. I mean, some game-winning, game-deciding threes since he's been in the bubble. Then you look at Yusuf Nurkic. Like I said on Monday, man, when he plays, he's dominant. He had 18 points and 19 rebounds against the Rockets, man. The Blazers, they're scary. They have the ability to go small and be a shooting team with a whole bunch of guards and wings out there, but then they can go big. They got 3 legit big men in the rotation who can do a lot of good things on the basketball court. But most importantly, they can rebound, they can defend. You got Zach Collins, you got Yusuf Nurkic, you got Hassan Whiteside coming off the bench, a guy that's leading the league in blocks, up there in rebounds. Like, whew, that's a scary 3 bigs in rotation. Now, there are 5 final games. They have the Denver Nuggets, the Clippers, the Sixers, the Dallas Mavericks, and Brooklyn Nets. For them, these are must-win games. They're all going to be tough. but they're a playoff caliber team. So I don't think they have any worries going into these games, man. They need to win them, though. They want to secure their spot, and they want to make it into the playoffs. Now, the Memphis Grizzlies. They're the current AC right now, but they're 0-4 in the bubble so far. Most of the games have been close, but they 0-4. Now, sadly, they're playing right now without their second best player, Jaren Jackson Jr., who tore his meniscus. He's going to be out for the rest of the season. He was averaging 25 points, hitting 5 threes on 40%. He's one of the best young power forwards in the league. Jaren Jackson Jr. can shoot, he can defend, he can rebound, he can score in the paint when asked. Losing him, that's a hard loss for this Grizzlies team right now that can't find a win. Now, without him, everybody's going to step up. Starting with Ja Morant, averaging about 19 points and 9 assists, but his shooting percentage have not been good, especially from the three-point line. He is shooting 4 for 22 in total from the three so far in the bubble. He has to step that up if he want to give his team a chance to win. Has to. He has to improve it drastically. Now, it's not all on him. It is not all on him. Jonas Valanciunas had a good game last night, but he has to keep doing it. He has to be dominant in the paint. He has to get you 20 and 10, and he has to be a defensive anchor on the other side. Dillon Brooks is going to step it up too. He's being looked at as the second option on offense. You know, he's giving you 20 points, but he's shooting terrible. Less than 35% from the three-point line. Now it has to go up. He's scoring 20 points. He just has to be efficient at it. The bench altogether needs to be efficient and effective. Grayson Allen is the only one that's being consistent right now, giving you about 17 points in the last 3 games in under 30 minutes coming off the bench. He was going to have to keep it up if he wants to give them a chance. They're playing bad right now as a team. I know they're losing, tough games, but they're making simple mistakes, turnovers, bad shooting. They're going to have to step it up if they want to, keep their seed. Everybody's going to step it up. Their next 4 games are against the Thunder, the Raptors, the Celtics, and the Bucks, man. Those are all tough games. All tough games. Next, man, you got the Kings. They're 0-3 in their bubble games. Lost 2 close ones, though, to the Spurs and to the Mavericks. Like I said before this bubble, man, they're young and a young head coach, and I knew it was going to show. Not all their players, not all of them are playing consistent. The only one who is honestly Fox, giving you 26 and 6. Bogdanovich is playing somewhat consistent. He only had 2 good games, and he had 1 terrible game. Everybody else is going to have to step it up. Honestly, Harrison Barnes, he's not playing up to his potential. The man has championship experience. He has game experience. He needs to be way more aggressive to give them a better chance. 13 points isn't enough. He needs to go back to that Dallas Mavericks, Harrison Barnes. Giving you 17. Can be a second option. Can be a first option when needed. Can score efficient. Can do it on offense and defense. He needs to go back to that. Buddy Hield also only averaging 13 points so far in the bubble, shooting terrible. Buddy Hield's going to have to step it up if he's going to be the guy off the bench giving them a spark. They need to play better if they want to give themselves a chance right now. They're last seed in the bubble as it stands, and they control their own fate. Their final 5 games, they have the Pelicans, the Nets, the Rockets, the Pelicans again, and then the Lakers. It's not going to be easy. They have the talent. They just have to be consistent and get some wins, man. 0-3, unacceptable. Unacceptable for how talented this team is. And I know they don't have Marvin Bagley, but still. They got some guys that can flat out get buckets. They're going to have to step this up, man. I'm disappointed right now in the Kings. All right, now, the San Antonio Spurs. They're currently 2-2 in their bubble right now. And I'm honestly not surprised. They have arguably the best coach in basketball. The main core is talented and experienced. But they're not the most talented team. Now, DeMar DeRozan, he's averaging 23 points. And they got at least 4 guys in double figures right now. They're going to be a tough team. They had their second best player and their best big man healthy. It'd be scary. Missing LaMarcus Aldridge is showing right now. It's showing. Now, their next 4 games are against the Jazz, the Pelicans, the Rockets, and the Jazz again. Man, I cannot wait to see those games. Especially that Rockets game, because I think they can go small ball if they want to. They can throw a lineup that can match up with the small ball, type of offense that the Rockets play. Especially without having LaMarcus Aldridge, you don't got a dominant big, so, I hope they go small ball. It'll be good basketball. It'll be the best matchup they can throw out. But, yeah, the Spurs, they, again, control their own fate. You got the Pelicans, a team that's also fighting to get the playoffs. You got the Jazz twice and the Rockets. They can be winnable games, you know. They just have to win them. They just go out and they have to play basketball. Now, last but not least, the Pelicans, who are 1-2 in the bubble right now, but they should be 2-1. And I truly believe, management isn't worried about making playoffs. David Griffin basically said he cares more about the future right now than this season. I hope he doesn't get nobody fired. I hope nobody leaves the team because they have a good roster and they can get into the playoffs. But it's just all on them. Regardless of that, though, they can make it, bro. They can still make it. They have a good rotation of players that they put on the court. You got, for the starting lineup, you got Lonzo, Drew Holiday, Ingram, Zion, and Favors. Lonzo and Drew Holiday, the second best defensive backcourt in the league, only to Paul George and Pat Bev. On defense, man, they can lock up your team's best guard. Lonzo, I know he's not shooting the best right now, but the man has vision that you can't teach. He gets everybody involved on the offensive end. He makes passes that nobody even sees coming. Full court passes to start the break. Lobs, pick and roll, anywhere. He gets the ball to the people that need the ball the most. He's the ultimate floor general. And if his defense, is good. That's why he's staying on the court. He's going to get it together on the offensive end. He's going to, get his shooting right. But as long as he keeps getting everybody involved and being a defender, can't ask for that much more. You got Drew Holiday, one of the best two-way players in the league, the most underrated player right now, in my opinion, in the league. The man goes out and guards anybody who you ask him to, and does a hell of a job. Then the offensive end, he can play point guard, he can play the off guard. Still gonna get you 20. Can still get you 10 assists if you need it. Can hit threes if you need it. Can score anywhere on the court. Drew Holiday is a matchup nightmare. Perfect guard for this team right now. And he does what he has to do. Then you got Brandon Ingram. In my opinion, he should win the most improved player this year. 25 points. 3-point percentage went up. Free throw percentage went up. 3-point attempts and makes went up. Brandon Ingram is a problem. He's showing it to everybody. And in the bubble, he's averaging at least 20 right now. He needs to get that up. But he's getting buckets. The only bad game he had, honestly, was against the Clippers where they got blown out. Everybody had a bad game in that game. But you look at the other two games, he's performed. And he has to keep doing that. Then you got Zion. Y'all know what Zion Williamson is. Basically scores a point a minute. He needs to play more in order for them to win. Then you got Derek Favors. The best center in the league? No. But for that team, he does what's X, man. Defends. It's rebounds, sets hard screens, offensive rebounds, scores whenever he gets the opportunity. Not the best center in the league, but he's fitting right now. Then off the bench, you got J.J. Redick, man, a sniper. He's playing amazing right now in the bubble. Amazing. Hitting threes, hitting shots. His job off the bench is to score the ball, to shoot the ball, and that's what he's doing. And I expect nothing less from him. Ultimate pro. Then Josh Hart is giving him a guard off the bench who can also defend. And now with the Pelicans, he's getting the opportunity to show that he can score the ball more. He's averaging double figures right now in the bubble, shooting at a really good percentage. Then they have Jackson Hayes, their backup center, who needs to be more aggressive at everything. The only reason that Favors is starting right now, in my opinion, is because of experience. Hayes is more explosive than him. He's taller than him, but he does not use that to his advantage. Hayes needs to be a defensive anchor. Anything that comes in the paint, he needs to get it out of there. He needs to be their rim protector. Like how he was in college. He's not showing it right now. He's not. He needs to grab every single rebound that comes off the rim. On the offensive end, he needs to roll harder. Be more aggressive on the offensive rebounds. Make better plays. Honestly, for the future, he's their perfect center. Somebody that can run the court, that's athletic. You're talking about for the future, he's that guy for that center position. He's just lacking experience right now. But they'll get it together, I hope. But the biggest question mark for these Pelican teams, the reason if they're going to make the playoffs, if they're not going to make the playoffs, is Zion Williamson. Zion is averaging 14 points in 14 minutes. That means a A point a minute so far in this bubble. The game that they played him over 14 minutes, he had 23 points. The only game that they won. Is that a trend? You play Zion more, he gives you a better opportunity to win, and you win against the Jazz. Why not play him in the final 2 minutes? Y'all say he's on a minute restriction, quote unquote, a burst restriction where they play him in short bursts. I can understand that. You know, Zion right now, he looks out of shape. He looks like he's not healthy, which is a problem. Because the Pelicans were bragging like Zion was coming back ready to dominate. They posted a picture of him all cut up in diesel. We're not seeing that right now. And I understand he missed 13 days where the team played those scrimmages. They had them practices. But there's no way it's that big of a jump off from that picture, how much you were bragging, to what we're seeing right now. The last game they played was in March. The NBA stopped in March. His first game back was the last day of July. All the months, all that time to get in shape. You look at all these NBA players. None of them look out of shape. None of them look out of shape. They all look like they did what they had to do. Marcus Gasol lost weight. Jokic lost weight. And they're dominating right now. All these players lost weight, got in shape, got healthy. Zion, out of everybody that's playing in the bubble, looks like he hasn't done anything. Now, I don't know if he's injured. If he's injured, then I take all that back. If he's injured, then I take all that back. But if he's not injured and he's just out of shape, then that's a question mark. Because all them months he had to prepare, all the months he had to work out. Y'all posted a picture of him, Diesel. I'm thinking Zion's going to be, in shape. But I'm not seeing that right now. I'm not. It looks like he didn't put no work in. And if he's injured, like I said, I'll take that back. I hope he's not injured, though. I hope he's not. But I understand this short burst thing, but the man needs to get in shape. Y'all need to just have him running around in a bubble right now, trying to get back in shape, because y'all need him to get into the playoffs. They do. The thing, though, which makes Zion so scary, and the reason why I be saying he's great, because look what he's doing. Not playing 100%. Not playing all the minutes that he should be doing. He's scoring a point a minute. The game that they won against the Grizzlies, he played about 25 minutes, give you 23 points. He's effective when he's on the court. So imagine if he was at 100%. Nobody would be able to hold him. He just needs to get healthy, man. Healthy and in shape. Their final 5 games. They got the Kings, the Wizards, the Kings, the Spurs, and the Magic. The easiest 5-game schedule out of anyone in the bubble. They have no excuse why they shouldn't go 5-0. The current seeding right now for this race, the 8th, you got the Grizzlies at 8 with 32 wins. The Trailblazers at 9 with 31 wins. You got the Spurs at 10, Pelicans at 11, Suns at 12, all with 29 wins. Then you got the Kings at 28. They're currently the 13th seed. Now, I'm about to give to y'all my predictions for the 8th, 9th, and 10th seed. These are going to be close with all these teams. Like, remember when I said within 4 wins to be in a play-in tournament? Well, the 13th seed has 28 and the 8th seed has 32. So those are your 4 wins right there. So regardless who's the 8th and 9th seed, there's going to be a play-in tournament. These teams are so close within wins that it can go any way. Honestly, it can go any way. It can be totally reversed. The Kings can go 5-0, end up being 8th seed. Spurs could be the 8th seed. The Suns can be the 8th seed. It's so close, man. That's why I love basketball. That's why I love the West. That's why I'm glad basketball is back, man. This is exciting. This is exciting. In the East, the Wizards are the only team that's not in the playoffs, and they have no shot in getting in there. If you look at the West, like I said, any one of these teams could make it into the playoffs. Now, here's my predictions. With the 8th seed, I have the Blazers. Even though they have a tough schedule, they got a great roster. You got Dame Lillard, man. Clutch guy in the playoffs. Told OKC goodbye. Hit the road jack and never come back. Did the same thing to the Rockets a couple years ago. Then you got CJ, his backcourt partner. Mr. Get Buckets. One of the most, you can argue, the best backcourt in the league right now. Then you got Melo. Hall of Famer, proven scorer, fits well with that team, is aggressive, can be the leading scorer if he ever got the opportunity to. They can count on him in offense. He's going to go down there and crash for rebounds. He's going to try his best on the defensive end. Then you got Zach Collins. Power forward. Just does what needs to be done. He'll rebound. He'll defend. He'll score when y'all getting the ball in the post. He'll hit the mid-range. He'll stretch the floor out if y'all need him to. Then you got Yusuf Nurkic. One of the best centers in the league. People forgot about him, because he broke his leg. He was out for about 18 months. Now look at him. Honestly, he looks like the third best center in this whole thing right now. Fourth, if you want to count Kristaps. Let me not miss. Top 5 center. There's a lot of good centers. But regardless, he's playing well for somebody that hasn't played in months. He's playing well. He can score. He can rebound. He can defend. He can play make. He can shoot. That's just their starting 5. Then off the bench, you got Gary Trent Jr. Probably their best defensive guard right now. He's their guy when they're going against a Ja Morant, when they're going against a Westbrook, going against a Harden. They're probably going to put him on there. And what does he do? He goes at on defense. Then on the offensive end, he knocks down threes. He showed it at Duke. And now he's showing in the league at the big stage right now. Right? Then you got Mario Hezonja, somebody off the bench. He needs to be consistent, but gives you another guy that can score when necessary. Then you got Hassan Whiteside, that third big in that rotation. A guy that's leading the league in blocks. And was top 5, if I'm not mistaken, in rebounds before Yusuf Nurkic came. Not complaining about coming off the bench, making every single, opportunity he has coming off the bench. He does what he has to do. Still defending, still rebounding, still scoring. Imagine having a top big off the bench. The Blazers roster is a roster that, if they were healthy, you got this roster healthy from the start of the season, they would already be in the playoffs. Already, but 2 of those guys that I named were injured about the whole season. Then they had other injuries with CJ, during the season. Other players that's not with them right now were hurt during the season. So, you look at this roster, they should have already been in the playoffs, in my opinion. And I think with their 5 games, they can honestly go 3-2. Honestly. Yeah, they're playing a whole bunch of good teams, but they're a good team in themselves. They're not a young team, with not a lot of experience. They're not a team that head coach doesn't have a lot of experience. This is a team that's been to the Western Conference Finals. This is a team that's usually always in the playoffs, past the first round, getting to the second round. This is a team that has playoff experience. Now they have the Denver Nuggets, the Clippers, the Sixers, the Dallas Mavericks, and the Brooklyn Nets. You look at that, right? We're just going to be honest. We can call Brooklyn a dub. You look at Denver. Michael Porter Jr. is playing great. You look at the Clippers, and they also have Jokic. Even though their players, the Denver, their 3 wings that usually start are healthy, they're still playing great right now. You look at the Clippers, you know what the Clippers are. Look at the Sixers, you know what the Sixers are, and the Mavericks, you know what the Mavericks are. Now, other than the Brooklyn Nets, those 4 games, those are going to be tough ones that can go either way. But they have to win 3 out of 2, and I think they can do it. They have 31 wins right now. They won 3, they have 34 wins. They possibly can win more, but I'm saying they can at least go 3-2. Now, the 9th seed. Now, this can flip. This can go, one way or the other with the 8th seed and the 9th seed. But I have the Pelicans. Now, the Pelicans, they need to play Zion in the best moments. I understand he's on this, quote-unquote restriction, playing in short bursts. If that's the case, you need to play him in the best moments. That means the end of the 4th quarter. That means when the game is somewhat close and you need some offense right now. You need some electricity on your team. You put in Zion. Y'all seen the only game y'all won. He had 23 in 25 minutes against the Jazz. That could have been a victory. The game was close at the end of the game. Y'all didn't want to put him in. That was a game that y'all needed to win, that y'all should have won, that it helped y'all out tremendously. Tremendously. Like right now, they're 11 seed, right? The Pelicans need to play like they're in the playoffs. They need a win now mentality. These vets, Favors is low-key a vet. But right now, I'm talking about JJ. I'm talking about Drew Holiday. They needed to tell this team as goal time, if they want to make it into the playoffs, they need to win. Now, like I said, they have the easiest 5-game schedule where they should go 5-0. But the inconsistency with this Pelican team is a problem for me. So it's hard to believe that they'll win all 5 games. Now, should they and could they? Yes. But I believe they need to go, and they probably are going to go 4-1. If they lose more than one game, they can kiss the playoffs goodbye. They play teams that are also fighting to get into the playoffs. They have to beat the Spurs, who they're tied with wins right now. They got to beat the Kings, who they have just one more win than them. Those have to be must-win games. Then you go against, the Wizards. That has to be a must-win game. Then you go against the Magic. They lost Jonathan Isaac. I hope he's healthy. Aaron Gordon stepped off the court. I don't know who his situation is right now, but that Magic game is the last game they play. You play the Kings twice. You got to win both those. You got to be dispersed. Like, they should go 5-0. They have the roster, the talent, a good head coach to go 5-0. But they've been playing so inconsistent, I'm worried. Now, like I said, if they lose more than one game, they can kiss the playoffs goodbye. Honestly, they can kiss their chance to get in the playoffs goodbye. But are they going to lose more than one game? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. And then the 10th seed, I have the Grizzlies. Now, right now, they're 0-4. They're the 8th seed. They got 32 wins. I see them going 0-4 for the rest of this. Especially without Jaren Jackson Jr. Like, I don't expect them to win. Even when they had Jaren Jackson Jr., it was going to be tough to win these games. You got the OKC Thunder, team that just beat the favorites yesterday, holding them to under 40% from the field. A team that, did that without Dennis Schroeder. A team that wants to win, that was underrated going into the season. Now they're a playoff squad. They're in win-now mode. Then you got the Raptors, one of the best defensive teams in the league, defending champions. Then you got the Celtics, looking to get in rhythm, continuing their stride of winning. Then ended out, you got the Milwaukee Bucks, which, I don't see them resting anybody. Honestly, I don't see any teams resting anyone. The only way that they could win a game is if the Bucks rest their star players. But I don't think any team is going to rest anybody, because we went 4 months without playing basketball and teams need to get in rhythm. So the Bucks are going to be looking to dominate that last game. That means I don't see the Grizzlies winning anything. And it's sad, It's sad. They had some close games. But without Jaren Jackson, man, I don't see them winning anything. Now, that's my opinion on what I think is going to happen. Do you agree? And if you want to hear me, name the 11th, 12th, 13th seed, just let me know. But that's my opinion. I got the 8th seed, the Blazers, the 9th seed, the Pelicans. It can flip-flop. Then the 10th seed, the Grizzlies. And I can't wait to see that play-in tournament between the Blazers and the Pelicans. Whoever has the 8th seed, I think it's going to be Blazers. But like I said, it can flip-flop. Whoever had the 8th seed has the advantage. No team wants to be the 9th seed and have to play that team twice. The Pelicans, for sure, don't want to play the Blazers twice, because the Blazers got more experience as a team together right now. But it's going to be a fun matchup. I can't wait. Now today, August 6th, Thursday, might be the best basketball we've seen yet, as far as every game quality-wise. 1:30, you got the Pelicans versus the Kings. I have the Pelicans winning. The Pelicans need to win if they want to make it into the playoffs. Kings are the 13th seed right now. If they want to, have a fighting chance, they need to win. But I have the Pelicans. Then you have the Heat versus the Bucks. 4 o'clock. Now, this all depends who's healthy. I have to do my research. Right? But if they have Jimmy Butler, if they have Goran Dragic, wait, honestly, both their statuses are unknown, especially Goran Dragic. But if they're playing, I have the Heat. I don't like how the Bucks have been playing so far. But that all depends on who's healthy. Even if those two aren't healthy, I see it being a close game regardless. The Heat defense is crazy. They want to win. Even if their star players are hurt, they really have a next man mentality. So that's a close one. But honestly, regardless of who's healthy or not, I'm still going with the Heat. Then 4 o'clock, you got the Suns versus the Pacers. I'm going with the Suns. Now, TJ Warren, he's been having all these crazy games so far, right? And the team that let him go, where he was originally at, the Phoenix Suns, they let him go for cash considerations. All them crazy games mean nothing if he doesn't have a great game against his team. Now, if he has a great game against his team, the man is first team all bubble. You hear me? But regardless, I have the Suns. I like their players better than I like the Pacers players. I like their stars better than I like the Pacers stars. Both teams are undefeated so far in the bubble. I'm going with the Suns. Then at 6:30, you got the Clippers versus the Mavericks. Now for the Clippers, they need this win. If they want to stay the second seed, they need to win because they have 45 wins, right? Other teams behind them. Matter of fact, let me tell you the standings for the Western Conference right now. Clippers have 45 wins. The Nuggets have 45. The Jazz have 43. OKC has 42. The Rockets 42. The Mavericks 41. Those are the top 7. So this is a must-win for this Clippers team if they want to stay that second seed. And I'm going with the Mavericks. Don't get me wrong. I like the Clippers. I do. But I like Luka and I like Kristaps Porzingis. I'm curious on how this Clippers team is going to stop Kristaps because he dominated, the Rockets who have no big man. And honestly, I don't see no big man on that team, the Clippers team, that can hold Kristaps Porzingis. Now, Luka is going to have a tough time. They're going to throw Marcus Morris at him if they need to. They got Kawhi, they got Paul George, they got Pat Bev. They got a lot of people that are going to throw at Luka. I'm still going with the Mavericks, though. Kristaps has to dominate in order for them to win. Then at 8 o'clock, you got the Trailblazers versus the Nuggets. A must-win for this Trailblazers team. I'm going with the Trailblazers because they're more healthy. Both teams have been playing well. Michael Porter Jr., please have another great night so you can shut up all these critics. But regardless of how good of a night he has, I'm still going with the Blazers. Jokic is going to have a hard time tonight. He's going against, a Hassan Whiteside defender. Nurkic that can defend. Now, Nurkic and Jokic starting centers, that's going to be a good battle. Very good battle. CJ, Dame, they're going to dominate tonight. They're going to dominate. It's going to be a really close game. Really close game. But I'm going with the Blazers. Must win for the Blazers. They want to get into the playoffs. And the Nuggets, if they want to move up, they're going to have to win. But I'm going with the Blazers. Then at 9 o'clock, arguably the best game tonight, you got the Los Angeles Lakers versus the Houston Rockets. I'm going with the Lakers. I am going with the Lakers. Now, I know, the Lakers haven't been playing too well. They're 2-2 right now. I'm still going with them. Nobody on that Rockets team is going to be able to hold Anthony Davis. LeBron James, I feel like, is going to be able to do his thing. The Lakers are going to dominate the paint. They're going to dominate the rebounds. But they need to have really good three-point shooting tonight. They need to get to the line like they have been doing. Anthony Davis has been going crazy at the free throw line. He needs to keep getting to the line. LeBron's going to have to step up. Kuzma's going to have to do his thing off the bench. Deion Waiters, Alex Caruso is going to be a defender off the bench to give them a chance. But I'm still going with the Lakers. Now for the Rockets, this will be a statement win. If you can beat the Bucks and then you can beat the Lakers, you know, they beat the Lakers twice with this small ball lineup. That'd be a statement win. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm going with the Lakers, and I'm taking all bets on the end of these games. So let me tell you my picks again. For the 1:30 game, the Pelicans and the Kings, I have the Pelicans. 4 o'clock, Heat, Bucks, I have the Heat. 4 o'clock, Suns, Pacers, I have the Suns. 6:30, Clippers, Mavericks, I have the Mavs. 8 o'clock, Trailblazers, Nuggets, I have the Nuggets. 9 o'clock, we got the Lakers and the Rockets, I have the Lakers. I'm taking all bets. Now let me know who you think is going to win these games. Those are my picks. I'm curious to see who you think is going to win. Now you can find me on Instagram and Twitter. And a Facebook coming soon. But right now, my Instagram, Twitter handle are sportsw_Chris. sportsw_Chris. Thank you all for listening. And stay tuned for future episodes.